Hey there, everybody. Good to see ya. Kind of miss ya. It's spring, doesn't look like it. That must mean it's just about time for registration. And you're probably looking for words of wisdom from your former principal. Well, let me see what I used to tell all the kids as they think about registration for next year. Number one, register for what you want, not for what your friends are taking. Critical. Serve yourself on this one. Number two, challenge yourself. There's a lot of reasons kids can come up with not to take challenging classes, but there's a whole world out there that you're going to learn about someday, and everything you can do to get ready for it is important. And especially if you're registering for your senior classes, there's that notion of a senior slump. Don't do it. Studies clearly show that kids who take off their senior year don't start well in college. So challenge yourself. One of the things I've noticed over the years when kids come back, for example, who are going into engineering or a health-related field, I ask them how well they were prepared. And one thing they'll always talk about is the chemistry class they had to take in college. If they took Mr. Gunkelman's chemistry, they were fine. If they didn't, they struggled. So think about those kind of things as you register. Also, when we talk about challenging yourself, though, we also want to talk about moderation. A lot of you will be taking classes online, college classes, those type of things. That's great, but you also have to still be a kid. Allow yourself some time in your schedule and your day to take the things you enjoy and not to overburden yourself. We want you to enjoy life, especially if you happen to be a senior your senior year. Challenge yourself, but only to a point, because you still have to be a kid. We want you to be happy and everything else. You know, with this copy, we're kind of the shop I built this last fall and winter. I'm just putting on a little deck out here outside my wood shop. When I look back to high school, I spent a lot of time in the shops, the egg shop and the wood shop and the auto shop and the metal shop that we had in our school. And those are skills I still use to this day. I do a lot of baking, a lot of cooking. When you walk down that hallway, when you walk past Mr. Swanson's and Miss Olson's and Mr. Spears and Miss Hager's area, check in one of those classes or more. I cannot believe how valuable that was for me in lifelong skills. And finally, get your registration slip handed in. Everything that goes forward from here is predicated on getting those slips in and getting registered on time. Miss Anderson has a very good looking father, and also is going to be building that master schedule based on what you take. And there comes a point when if you are late with your paperwork and you don't get it handed in and a class fills up or whatever, you're out of luck. She'll be moving classes around from that master schedule you're working off based on the early registrations or the majority of them that come in, and you want to be a part of that. So it's really critical that you take the time to get that registration slip handed in and do it now. And one last thing, be nice to the principal.
Hello, juniors to be seniors. Welcome to registration for 2020-21.
Perry just dropped off one of his delicious cookies with ice cream. I better put that down.
For only one of us. Thanks, Perry. Also, Ms. Anderson didn't offer to share, so we're off to a good start.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to almost your senior year. This is not how you expected to be going into it, but it's the best it is. So virtual distance registration, here we go.
101.
The first thing I'm going to do is have you guys just do a quick recap of graduation requirements for next year. Then Ms. Anderson will talk about some of the classes and some of the changes that are happening that are going to impact you. So this 4-year plan is nothing new to you. You've seen this for the past few years. It's basically a guide to what you need to make sure you have in order to be on track for graduation. If you failed anything, 9th and 10th grade, if you're concerned about failing required courses for your junior year, you're going to have to fit those in next year somehow. My best advice is do whatever you need to do this year to take care of those. You've spent a year in the seats in these classes or distance learning in these classes. Why wouldn't you want to get credit for it instead of having to retake it? So reach out to your teachers, start doing your work. They want you to pass and we'll work with you. Please take care of that. Hopefully very few of you are in that boat. The cool thing about senior year is your schedule is wide open because you aren't required to take a lot of stuff. You can fit in tons of electives. You'll see on here the only things that you have left to take your senior year that we require is your English and your social studies. If you haven't finished your chemistry or physics requirement yet to meet your third science, you need to make sure you do that next year. If you took anatomy and physiology with Mr. Gottenberg this year, that's awesome, but that does not count for your science because it has to be a chemistry or physics class. Next year, your opportunities will be chemistry or applied physics. Physics itself is not scheduled to be offered.
But if you're interested in taking physics, let me know and I can work with Mr. Gunkelman and make that happen for you.
Advanced chemistry is also going to be an option, but you can't take that unless you took chemistry as a junior. So you would have your requirement met by default if you took chemistry this year. So make sure you have that third hard science class in there. You need to have 3 credits of math, which I'm assuming you have taken the third one this year in your junior year, but if you failed something along the way, you may need to have that for next year. The Phy-Ed Health computer requirements are embedded in 9th and 10th grade years, so those are done. The only other one that seniors sometimes have left is their arts credit. So the requirement to have 1 credit of art is a state of Minnesota requirement. And there's a lot of different classes that you can take. So you're going to want to make sure you've had something between 9th grade and now or next year that fulfills this. You can do any art or music class. Digitools, which is a computer class, will be back next year for a semester.
Yes.
So that'll count as half of it. Business operations, starting next year, will be getting approved to count as an art class. A few students will take independent study drafting with Mr. Spear. Also, you could do mass communications or independent study mass communications, which is a yearbook. That also will fulfill the art credit.
And we'd really like about 4 or 5 students to take that independent study mass comm because that'll be the yearbook as well as producing the senior video that's shown at commencement. So if you are interested in that, please take that course.
The rest of the classes you need are just going to count towards your electives. Most seniors that have passed stuff only really have 2 or 3 elective credits left to earn. You do have to be a full-time student even if you don't have enough requirements left to make you be full-time. So the rest is really just icing on the cake. The magic number you guys are going for is 25. So you need 25 credits in total between 9th grade through 12th grade to finish up. Senior service hours over here on the bottom is something that Mrs. Alvin typically communicates with students in the spring of their junior year. I'm not sure if she's done that yet or what that will look like, but essentially it's 8 hours of volunteer service that are to be done between the end of your junior year and the first semester of your senior year. So stay tuned for more information on that. She'll get it to you at some point, I'm sure. As you're looking ahead to what you want to do after high school, you may be looking at going on to college, and if so, this is a recommendation, this college prep section, based on what Minnesota colleges are advising. So they are officially saying that students that are looking at going on to any kind of college, whether a 2-year or a 4-year, should consider taking these courses, which is essentially the same as our graduation requirements, with a couple exceptions. One is math. They really want students to take math all the way through their senior year. The other is a foreign language. The colleges like to see you having 2 years of a foreign language. Now, the reason they suggest these kind of more rigorous college prep things is they want you to come in academically prepared for the rigors of college and the courses you're going to take. That does not mean that these are required for admission to colleges. So as you are searching for schools, make sure you're paying attention to what their admission requirements are.
So I'm guessing they're trying to get rid of the senior slide and then the shock of college.
They are. Students that take the senior slide don't do as well as college. In fact, Holly graduates that have come back that enjoyed the senior slide said that that was a rude awakening at college. So please challenge yourself some to not have the senior slide. Just so you know kind of the lay of the land for what colleges require, while regional colleges like MSUM, NDSU Concordia would like to see you having these requirements, they do not require them. 2-year colleges are really not concerned about this as far as admitting you. But if you're looking at some place like the University of Minnesota system, they actually do require 4 years of math and 2 years of a foreign language. If you're applying to somewhere more selective, like an Ivy League school or just a more selective school across the country, they're also going to want these. And frankly, this makes your application look more competitive. So you'll kind of have to weigh out the benefit of taking them versus fitting other classes in. Some strategy for you is you're trying to decide what classes you should take your senior year. The first one is that I really want you to think about what kinds of maybe careers or interest areas you have for life after high school. So if you know that you want to have a hands-on job, maybe as an electrician, you really should be down in the ag shop and Mr. Spears tech ed program, getting some of that experience. If you know you want to be a nurse, you really need to be taking chemistry and as many of the medical courses that Mr. Heinrichs teaches as possible. If you are thinking chemistry is too hard for me, you may want to rethink going into nursing because you're going to have a lot of chemistry there. So it's a really good way to kind of dabble in these areas that you are interested in to see if you really like them or not. The other thing is, don't just take what your friends are taking. So we don't want you to have a senior slide. We want you to take things that are challenging to you, but also keep in mind what you need to be well. So Holly kids have a tendency to really take on a huge course load. We don't want you to do that. We want you to get enough sleep and enjoy your life, especially during those busy times of year that you may have. So please keep your well-being in mind as you pick courses.
Courses for next year. So as Ms. Moshan said, you'll be taking an English course. That will either be English 12 with Ms. Ludwig, or college English, including a writing class and ethnic literature. So you get to hear Ms. Ludwig teach with her British accent, ethnic lit. So wow, lucky you. Social studies requirement. Last year, all the juniors took world history. Next year, you'll have a semester of government, which is an election year, which should be some fantastic information from there. And then in the spring, you'll take economics.
There's a change with social studies requirements.
Yes.
So historically, AP Psychology is a course that you could take to fulfill the 4 years of social studies that you need. In looking at the standards that Minnesota is requiring and how we were delivering those to you, there's some things that are shifting next year. And because seniors need to have that economics standard and that has to be taken, that means that AP Psych kind of gets bumped out as a course that can meet the social studies requirement. So you can absolutely take that next year as an elective credit, but you're still going to need to have the government and the econ content areas. This will also affect those of you that have been taking online college classes in the social studies areas, because it's going to restrict quite a bit the types of courses you can take that will still fulfill your social studies requirements. So more to come on that in the information piece on online college stuff.
And then you get to fill the rest of your day with some electives. And I'm just going to highlight a few of the new electives coming up next year. I could spend a lot of time on electives, but they're all in the course registration guide under course descriptions. All the write-ups are right there for you. We're going to be having first aid and first semester and personal health second semester. That's with Mr. Heinrichs, who is a wealth of information in himself. We have ceramics. Mrs. Hager is going to be teaching a year-long ceramics course, which I think is going to be really fun. Computer science. Mr. Haugen is going to teach a semester of computer science. Not 100% sure what the curriculum is going to look like, but he's generating that on his own, so I guarantee it's going to be good. Accounting, we're bringing that back. It's going to be a full year. You can take Accounting 1 first semester, Accounting 2 second semester, and let me know where you like it in your schedule, because we have some flexibility on where we can offer that. We're also going to be offering strength training for the first time. That's going to be taught by Miss Brenna. She is new to us. She's an MSUM graduate, a DGF rebel by trade or by in high school, and she'll be teaching strength training in both of our new weight rooms. So some good possibilities there if you want to incorporate weight training in your school day. And then we also have new to our team, our new band director is Mr. Noah Johnson. He is a cobber.
Go Cubs!
And he is a percussionist by trade. He brings great energy to the program and is going to be very good with the kids. He likes to bike, he likes to hunt, he likes to fish. So a lot of solid background there.
All right, so the next piece we're going to talk about, which will be kind of a recap for you because we talked about this last year, but the opportunities you have during your junior and senior year to earn college credit. Some of you chose not to take advantage of this last year, or this current year, I guess, and some of you didn't qualify yet. So I'm just going to highlight real quick what these look like and the GPA requirements for you. The first one that we have is our advanced placement one, and I've starred that one because you're not guaranteed credit. How the AP courses work is that at the end of the course, you take the AP exam in May of your will-be senior year, and you earn a score on a scale of 1 to 5 on it. colleges all have different scales for what they're going to accept for AP courses. So for example, if you take AP Psychology with Mrs. Alvin and earn a 3 on it, MSUM will accept that 3 as counting as your general psychology class. If you go to Concordia, they're going to require a 4. And if you want to go somewhere quite selective like Duke, probably going to require a 5. AP courses are the most universally accepted, so if you're looking at a very selective college, it's a great way to have a stronger application, and they're more likely to accept that than our college courses, but there's no guarantee. There's no GPA requirement to get into the AP courses, but the content is more rigorous, so be prepared to work hard. The courses we offer here are AP Psychology and AP Calculus. In order to take AP Calc, you're going to need to have taken the college algebra and college trig courses your junior year, just so you know the content. Mr. Gunkelman is doing advanced chemistry next year, which is not an official AP course, but has been designed to prepare you for the AP chemistry test. So know that that's going to be another AP option for you. The next option is the college and the schools. So this is college English, college algebra, and nat and phys. Next year, Mr. Heinrichs will offer medical terminology. So there's a variety of courses. As seniors, you need to have a 2.8 GPA to take it. And typically, you'd need the AccuPlacer, but since things are kind of a mess right now, no AccuPlacer.
It sounds like this year we're not going to be able to offer the AccuPlacer, so there will be a form where parents and students have to sign off on that. Along with where you're debating on, we can add a teacher recommendation to take those courses.
The cool thing about the college and the schools courses, they're taught by teachers here who are collaborating with the colleges, so it's people that you know, they're easier to access because they're in the building, and if you pass these courses, you're guaranteed the credit, and so it's not as iffy as the AP courses are. The third option is the online college classes. Many of you have taken these already. This is where students are taking classes directly taught by college instructors in an online format. You've seen students in the library working on computers throughout the day. A lot of flexibility in how you schedule these. They will log into the Brightspace platform, which is what the Minnesota college system uses for their online courses. So if you've enjoyed distance learning this year, these could be a good fit for you. If you don't like distance learning, probably not going to enjoy these so much. The online college courses are a bit of a leap of faith because we don't know who the instructors are going to be from year to year. Some certainly stay the same, but I've already seen there's starting to be some changes. We don't always know who they are ahead of time. So with the online college classes, my suggestion would be that you prepare for something that's really rigorous, and if it's not as challenging, great, you have more time to spend doing other things, versus thinking, oh, it's going to be a piece of cake, and then getting into it and finding out that it's very difficult. I don't want you to be stressed out about it. For seniors to qualify for online college classes, you must have a 3.2 GPA, and again, no AccuPlacer requirement this year. The online college class registration process is separate from registering for the rest of your classes because I have to register you for those. So if you want to take an online college class, look for the registration information that will be in addition to this stuff. The final option you have is the PSEO program, or post-secondary enrollment options. This is where students can take colleges directly from a college campus and be treated like a college student. So you can be full-time or part-time, you can be on campus or online. It can be a mix of Holly High School stuff and college stuff. And this year we've had probably 7 or 8 kids that have taken advantage of this in some capacity. The enrollment process for PSEO lies on you, the student. You need to research the college you want to go to. You need to find out their admission criteria and go through the enrollment process that they dictate. And it has to be a Minnesota college, so you can't cross the river and go to NDSU. If you are interested in doing PSEO or learning more about it, please get in touch with me and I'll guide you through that. Your deadline to let us know that you want to do PSEO is May 30th. That's a firm deadline, so please get in touch with me by May 30th so we can guide you through that.
And some words of caution for online classes and PSEO is we don't have jurisdiction over those. So we don't communicate with the teachers, it falls on you. And including college and the high school courses, these grades go on your official transcript both in high school, but they also go on your college transcript. So you want to make sure that what's transferring into colleges is something that you're going to want to stick on your forever transcript.
So make sure that you are prepared for the rigor of this, that you're willing to put in the work. You have to be pretty self-motivated. If you aren't sure if you're gonna be a good fit for this or not, I'd recommend talking with your teachers because they know the content and they know the standards and who's gonna be successful. Sometimes there's a push here that everybody wants to take all of the college opportunities because it's offered to them and it's a good cost saving. But the reality is it's not a good fit for everybody, whether academically they're not prepared or just personally they aren't prepared for it. Do know that how you do in these courses can have a lasting impact on your future plans. And so we have had students that have not done well in their college courses and cannot continue taking college courses while they're in high school. You may be prevented from enrolling in college if you don't do well enough and are on academic probation. It can also impact your eligibility for financial aid. So really a huge thing. These also can impact your GPA if you're applying for selective programs. Like say you're applying for a nursing program that are really difficult to get into. If you pull a C in college algebra, that's going to bring your GPA down and really impact you. So really think long and hard and talk with your parents before registering for these. If you are wondering what your GPA is, or if you're just wondering what classes did I take in 9th and 10th grade, do know that you have access to your transcript on JMC. So let's just quick step-by-step how to find that. First, you're going to log into your JMC student account, which hopefully you know how to do. If your parents are the ones that always log in, or if you use your parents' account, they can also see your transcript on their end. I'm not sure the directions are the same, but you'll be able to find it. Once you're logged in, click on transcript. If you want to see your current class rank, make sure that quarters is selected in the class rank area, and then pick quarter 3. It'll give you the most updated one. And then you just click print. When I did this today, I just downloaded it really easily for me. If you're wondering what GPA is used, it's the cumulative GPA. So it's not just your junior year GPA, it's everything from 9th grade up until 3rd quarter of your junior year. That's the one that is used to determine eligibility.
I think that's it. My cookie is cold and my ice cream is melted, so Ms. Beauchamp, if you'd like it.
Thanks. If you have any questions, get a hold of us. We're happy to guide you through this process. Can help you navigate some of the college websites, even if you are looking at that kind of information. I'm more available than Ms. Anderson because she's...
But don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to help.
Thanks.
Going to be seniors, just a few things I'd like to share with you before you actually submit the registration. This is the form that you will be using. Make sure that you enter your name. And here's where you'll go through and you'll select a class for each period, starting with period 1, semester 1. You'll go all the way through to period 7, semester 2. So make sure you select a class for each period. And it's important to get this done in a timely manner as it is done by when you get them submitted to me. Also on other, if you plan to take say yearbook, for example, doing the yearbook and the senior video, just type that in other and we can fit it in any period throughout the day. Also, if you work in the resource room with the teacher, make sure that you can put a course in other if you plan to take another class in the resource room this year. Also, if you're a teacher aide, make sure that you get that confirmation email sent to me. If you're a teacher aide for, say, example, Mr. Hansen, you would email him that and then forward that confirmation to me saying that yes, you can in fact be Mr. Hansen's aide, and I'll get that plugged into your schedule. A couple other documents. The master schedule. This is the master schedule. And you can see that senior only classes are the red classes and the pink are either 9 through 12, 10 through 12, or junior and senior only classes. And the course registration guide. This is a beauty. It has all kinds of useful information. You're going to want to make sure you look at your course history, your tracker, and that you're meeting the graduation requirements, because we need to make sure that you meet our local and our state requirements so you can earn your diploma in 2021. The example schedules, and then we have the course descriptions for every class right here that we'll be offering next school year. And all the way at the end are options to earn college credit in high school, and the NCAA clearinghouse requirements if you're planning on playing sports in Division I or Division II NCAA. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am happy to help.